Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Oh, geez. Oh, there was a total other, there's a whole nother point that's gone.
We can circle
But
back.
that's okay.
We can circle back.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
So how would you say overall anime and anime culture has influenced your passions and things that you're into outside of cosplay and makeup?
Well, I kind of would have to say though, my relationship with anime has actually developed probably more in the past few years than it has probably my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So when I lived in New Jersey, I'd say the area I grew up in was very mainstream. So it was the boys were super into sports and, you know, like drugs or whatever, and, you know, like girls are into their Louis Vuitton purses and, you know, like their yoga pants. I don't know. So when I, you know, I'm sure as many other people can relate, like it got made fun of that, like I would read manga on the book, like on the bus, and like, you know, girls would like spit at me or like, you know, or like, you know, just be like, oh, she's reading that Japanese shit and like whatever, you know, like just like, so it was something that like, yeah, I kept very to myself. That was like, that's something I kind of do more at home. Like I'll like watch anime, I'll watch manga, like people would ask me like what my favorite shows or stuff was, and I had to be like, oh, my favorite book is Twilight, like, you know, like, which, you know, at the time was great.
That's,
you know, and I had to kind of hide that part of me, and that was, you know, like I said, like my brother got me into it, so that was something I shared with my brother. That was kind of like, you know, that's what we did. So I was very much like a closet nerd. Like I didn't show like that part of me. I was, you know, I ended up getting a job in retail, so I was very much turned into like fashion and was like kind of like conformed to that idea of like, oh, girls need to be into this and kind of thing. So it wasn't kind of until like I got older and kind of out of high school that I kind of realized a little more people were into that kind of stuff. So then I kind of opened up a little and was kind of like, yeah, I've seen a couple shows here and there, like whatever. It wasn't until I moved down here and realized how big the community down here was. And because I never experienced the community up in like New Jersey. Like I know there is one. Yeah, I know there is one, but like I never experienced it when I was growing up. So when I came down here and a couple of friends took me to my first convention, and I was like, this is a thing? I was like, this is a thing? I was like, there's conventions like where people like can, like see superhero, like all the superhero stuff or all the anime or and any of that stuff. And I was like, I went to MegaCon. MegaCon was my first one, the one in Orlando. And my mind was blown. I was completely blown away. And so that kind of introduced me more into cosplaying and doing my makeup more and being more into like really deep, like diving, I think way deeper than I've ever gone into anime and manga and all that kind of stuff. So and then it's the type of friendships I developed and just the type of community that I ended up being a part of, and I definitely think I still keep it separate, like from kind of the rest of my life, only because it's just, I think, kind of like I don't want to like mix like my work and my pleasure type of thing. So it's like, you know, like it's kind of like I keep that kind of like separate. So it's like a lot of people like at my like work, like they know I do that kind of stuff and like they think it's fun and they're curious about it, but but it's just kind of like, but that's like what I do outside of work. Like, you know, like it's just kind of like that's my work stuff. Like this is my play stuff. Like it's just kind of, I keep it separate. But I kind of forgot the question. What was the question? I kind of went on a tangent. I kind of needed that backstory.
No, that's cool. But basically, I just want to know how it influenced you, and I think that kind of answered the question in a way.
Okay, I was like, did I even hit the question?
No. I mean, you definitely did. Like, for instance, like you were saying it, like kind of the discovering of that community. Yeah. Which actually linked back to what I forgot.
Yeah.
Was I think that a lot of people who kind of grew up And I love the idea that it's different now because sort of like nerdy stuff is more widely accepted.
Yeah.
So I think like kids today aren't going to have the same issues with ostracization and bullying that like some of us might have dealt with growing up, which is definitely something that I dealt with in my life growing up, like being into the nerdy shit, like you know, that was like, nah, y'all go sit over here, you know, y'all aren't cool like the rest of us or something like that.
Yeah.
But just the sense of community, specifically when it comes to cons, like there's so much. It's a whole different feeling being in a place with like 15,000-20,000 people, you know, all there for the exact same shit.
Exactly. It's so overwhelming. It's like it's like comforting.
Yeah.
It's like super comforting.
Yeah.
Just like being in the space with all these people who are like-minded, who enjoy the same things, that, you know, it makes you feel completely less alone. And especially if you were bullied and like, you know, like harassed for liking those kind of things, when it's a perfectly okay thing to enjoy and like to dress up or to enjoy the anime or, you know, whatever
and people do all over the world, and it's unfortunate that like some people are made to feel like they're abnormal or something like that because of being into these things, despite the fact that they are like people everywhere love them. Yeah,
it's funny too because I still kind of I wouldn't say like bullied, but I'm a grown adult now. If we're still bullying at the same age, that's just pathetic. But like I do get a lot because I keep my work and my my like nerdy life kind of for the most part separate. When people do kind of find out that I'm like nerdy and that I like to dress up in my free time and that I you know like go to anime conventions and I do all these things, I get a lot of people that are actually surprised and they're like, oh, like you like that kind of stuff, like I wouldn't pegged you, and I'm just kind of like, what does that even mean? Like, you know, it's just
I didn't think you were that kind of person.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of
a
like,
human.
Am I not allowed to like things in the world? No, but I do. I get that a lot, and I think it's again like there's this weird stereotype, I think, of like, oh, like a nerdy person, and it's like, you know, they're still thinking
looks
like back
like this,
like it's you know, like this is how you're supposed to act or how you're supposed to dress, like I'm supposed to be decked out in all of the anime crap, and it's just like, no, like I like fashion also, and I like makeup, and I like being put together, and so, you know, when I'm out in the world or out at work or anything like that, and then people are like, oh, you like anime? Like, isn't that just all like hentai and tentacles?
Like,
and I'm like, no! I'm like, what?
That's such a small
I'm like, that's like a completely different thing.
That's like, you said me, oh yeah, I love going to the movies. You go to adult movie theaters all the time? How did we just get to...
It's like, I like movies, oh my god, porn?
Like,
like, what?
I'm in Disney.
It's like, I like other things, you know? It's just kind of, it's ridiculous, like...
We love like the labels and the boxes, and you have to, if you're in this box, you can't be in that box too, because these two boxes are two completely different worlds, and ne'er shall they meet, you know.
Yeah, like, and it's like, and because like, you know, and then I feel like people's questions are like, oh, but like you like anime, like you like hentai and stuff, and I'm like, sure, I've seen some stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I'm curious, I'm a human, but like, you know, it's like, that's, again, a completely different thing. Like, that's going into like sexuality and stuff. Like, that's like a whole different like thing. Like, anime is just like, it's just fun. Like, there's like like everything has like other little things. Like, you can't just focus on like.
It's such a broad category.
Exactly.
It really is. But I mean, of course, if it's something that you're not even remotely into, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
You have no way of knowing. So forgive them of their sins.
Don't kink shame.
Yeah. I love that. Anytime I hear that, I think of the Vine with the dude. Don't kink shame me. Kink shaming is my kink. Like, that's forever. That's cemented in my mind.
Yeah.
That'll never die.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Vine.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long have we even been going?
I'm a talker.
For a while. I've already restarted.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm a talker. I talk a lot.
No, it's quite alright. And this is exactly what happens. Like, I would feel like super awkward if I sat down with like a list of questions like number 1.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, that's the last one. Thank you. Yeah.
Alright, goodbye.
You know, like it's
and good night.
Yeah. Tune in next time for those same questions. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You know. No, we generally like it to just be like a free form conversation, but we also try not to like
overload.
Yeah.
How long are your podcasts normally?
The podcast
itself.
Hour.
Yeah, it'll run like an hour plus.
Okay.
But like this is sort of like we're doing like an interview series.
Okay.
And so these we try to keep a little bit shorter.
Shorter, yeah.
But really we don't particularly have like I think I told you like do like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, like
I also know myself and I'm like I'm going to like be telling stories, I'm gonna be talking, like
and
it's
that's
gonna be a
exactly
grand
what
old
we want.
time.
So I don't know why we tell people
like,
15,
you're literally
20
gonna
minutes.
go through the footage and be like, oh that's great, we should put that in. Oh that's great too, we should put that in. It's gonna be like an hour.
That's exactly. Split
Part
it up.
two.
That's,
Just part two.
Split it
Yeah.
up. That's,
I'll come back like a third time, be like, all right, let's do this again.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the like we definitely want to. And then even in terms of like when we do like the podcast episodes, like we definitely want to bring people on for like longer discussions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we do like different topics. Like the last episode we recorded was like the most influential anime in our lives.
I thought that was when we were doing next.
No, isn't that the one we just?
Oh no, yeah, I did.
Yeah, we recorded. No, we did that one. We recorded.
All
that.
right, so the next one is history.
Yeah. We're gonna look back at like the last 10 years of anime. Like kind of like discuss stuff and like where it's been and then like where it's going and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd definitely be a fun one. It's funny because he refuses to watch anything outdated. Mm-hmm. So like there's a lot of anime. So they're like literally like once like
what's your cutoff? Not to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the art style.
Depends on the
it's
animation.
basically very 90s.
Yeah.
Like if it's anything like remotely 90s, like he's like no. He's like
right, and I can go back and read the manga, but just watching the anime.
Yeah, he's like no.
Neon Genesis, like I hate. It's not that I hate the anime; it's that I hate the animation.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fair. That's a fair. That's a fair.
I can accept that.
Which I will kind of say, like some animes, like Kill la Kill. The anime style, for some reason, is just a little hard for me to watch. Like
what?
I don't know
it's
what
artistic.
it is. Okay, listen, you don't even watch anything. You don't watch anything like
Stein.
But like, no, seriously, like there are some like art styles of anime, but I think it's because they're starting to get more experimental.
Yeah.
And there's just some like Kill la Kill that I'm just like I start watching it and I'm just like I feel like I should be like tripping on acid right now, like or something
like
like.
fashion.
Huh?
Listen,
I don't agree with all fashion. Like that's a thing.
Oh, you can't do that and like fashion. You have
right.
to
Stay in your box.
Oh, let me just stay in my fucking box. But,
no, I definitely get like the sort of like there's certain animation styles like the really CG heavy stuff like the newer Berserk series.
Bro, I was just thinking about
I can't get into that. I can't get into that
Really?
style. Like what's some other ones? Ajin on Netflix. It's like Ajin or Asian or something like that.
I believe it's Ajin.
Ajin.
I think it's Ajin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a disconnect between what's happening in the like when I'm trying to get into with that anime, it just throws me off. Like I can't connect the two. Like
you gotta vibe with it.
And I can't. It's so distracting that it's distracting me from what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Because the animation is just like why is it like that?
Yeah, why is it like that?
Yeah. Crybaby was like that for me.
Yeah.
I had to start it over like 3 times.
That's
but
another
then I
one.
loved it.
It's so amazing.
But the animation, I couldn't get
The
past
it is,
at first.
yeah.
Like,
It was
weird.
multiple styles of animation in that as well.
Yeah, it's like for me it was like I think they really were just doing some crazy things with that one because like I watched it. It's first of all like the storyline it's super interesting. Like I was very interested in the storyline.
Yeah.
But then it was just I felt like there was such a disconnect of like the first like couple episodes of like what was kind of really happening, and I just kind of was like, what? And then and then on top of then the art style and like how funky that was, and I was just like, I don't know what to focus on. Like it was just one of the so like I had to do it I had to rewatch it a couple times. I still didn't finish it.
I know for sure that was one like in and of itself was like a really experimental anime.
Yeah.
Like apparently that one was made more so for Western audiences.
Yeah.
And they just kind of like they went out and they tried some stuff with that one. And I absolutely like it took me a second at first. I was like, oh, this art style is a little weird, but like ultimately, I loved it. I've seen it a couple of times now.
I felt like they should have gave us like a warning, like ahead of time, like, hey, we experimented, give it a chance. This is, like, give it a chance or something. Yeah.
But I also I love to see that. Like, I love to see things like doing things a little differently. Like, I feel like anime is kind of one of those things where it borrows a lot from itself. So you do see a lot of the exact same tropes and things over and over and over. So sometimes it can be a little hard to find something that feels incredibly unique, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I'll give Netflix that as they're putting money into places where they're having people try new things.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys seen Castlevania?
No, not yet.
No, but I've heard it's phenomenal.
I hear it is great.
It really it's something special. It's something special.
I have friends who don't like anime who recommend it.
As
someone who likes anime, they're like, have you seen this?
That's your what you're giving me recommendations now?
Yeah, no, you watch Death Note. Calm down.
Like, oh, how the tables have turned. Yeah. That's wild. That's when I definitely I would say out of like the last couple of years, that's one that I absolutely recommend like people check out.
Yeah.
It's hard not to like that one.
As being unique.
Yeah.
We're gonna go home and watch it right now.
Dr. Stone is the newer one that's just.
Yeah, I haven't finished that one yet. Did you finish? Yeah.
Yeah.
The concept of it is just, I think, is very.
I thought it was exactly. I'm so bad at if I don't. And this is why I prefer to binge anime.
Yeah.
Because like I need to get through it. If I stop and start watching something else, I have so many unfinished series.
Yeah.
Well,
that's literally my problem. Yeah, that's my problem.
I've been like, you should watch this, and she's like, well, will you watch it with me? And I'm like, sure. And then we'll sit down, and then I'll be like, oh, you should also watch this though.
Yeah, no, we've started at least like 4 or 5 different animes together, and like we'll start watching it together, and then the next time we're together, I'm like, we should watch this. He's like, no, let's start this.
Let's
and
check
I'm
this
like,
out.
can we finish something,
I've
please?
seen all this anime that I want to like share.
Exactly, with all these great stories
That's
that you
what
need
I'm
to check
saying.
out. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. There's so much. Like I wish I could.
It's overwhelming.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Like I have we use Anime Planet just to keep track of like the anime that we've seen, and you're way better at it than I am.
Because if I don't, I'll literally watch the same anime 3 to 4 times, and each time I'm watching it, it's like, this looks really familiar.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I've seen this before.
And
I'll get 4 or 5 episodes into it, and it's I watched this already.
Yeah.
So it's actually funny. There was a couple years ago. There was some anime that was on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me how this happened, but somehow I watched like the very last episode first. Like it was my account, so it was like I don't know how that happened, but like I ended up watching the very first episode first. And it like blew my mind because I was like, this is so edgy. I was like, this is amazing. How because it was like it started so backwards because obviously I didn't know I was watching.
That's
the very last episode first. So like the storyline was like so weird to me because I was like, it's starting at this point and it's so dramatic already and like it like blew my mind. And then I realized that I watched the very last episode first. So I was pissed. So then I went back, I watched the entire series, and I still liked it. It did take a turn because I was watching, because like I knew how it was ending. Yeah. So then I was watching it from the beginning, and then like halfway through, I'm literally just like, how does it get from this point to this point? And and then I watched it, and then it was all good, dandy. Like I understood how it got there. Love the anime. I don't know what anime was. I don't fucking know what anime it was. I have no idea. Like I don't remember what it was called. I kept trying to find it on like Hulu, trying to go through, trying to like I've gone through like every single like anime on the list and being like, I have to try and remember. Like I
probably removed.
And it's removed. I'm pretty sure it's removed, and I can't remember for the life of me. Like I need something to like. Yeah, to be like, oh, I've watched this. Oh, I've watched this. Oh, I've watched this.
That's gonna be one that you'll go back to watch one day and then be like, oh, wait a minute.
I'm gonna have to go through all of the animes and watch the very last episode first and be like, is this the show? Like, I don't know. But yeah, I need like a list of like, yes, I've watched. I am going to watch like.
No, that's Anime Planet.
Yeah.
That's my list.
That's
my go-to. It has a list. You can make lists. Like I got 2 lists on there for other people to view instead of having to go to just see what I watch.
Yeah.
Like it's like I got like a top 10 recommendation that I got a top 10 my personal favorites.
Yeah.
Then I got a top 20 recommendations.
Ah.
So it's like These aren't my favorite, but they're still good watching.
You have to send me the links to those later.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a really cool site.
My anime list. Is like,
That's the other big one.
Okay,
That's the other big one.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But I'm not sure if my anime list allows you to stream, but I know like Anime Planet works
some episodes
on.
are like hard to find. You don't know where you can go to watch it, especially with a lot of pirate sites getting shut down.
Yeah.
You do get the option to watch certain ones on there.
Yeah, because they have, I think they work with like Crunchyroll and Hulu and stuff like that.
Okay.
So you can actually even stream some anime from their site. And if you watch it on their site, you can have it set to where it automatically updates your list.
Oh.
But it's pretty cool. I wish they had an app, you know,
Yeah, that'd be...
but it's still like the site exists. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty
it's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And it allows you to follow people, so you can always see, like, I follow
Like your friends and stuff. And that's what, like, we put, like, our friends onto it.
Yeah.
Like, let me see what you're watching, what do you recommend, stuff like that.
And I started making the list because I used to recommend them a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because I think me and Carl probably watch the most anime out of everybody consistently. And I'd be like, hey, man, watch this. And they'd be like, hey, like a month later, hey, what was the anime you told me to watch?
Yeah.
You ain't watching yet?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You know how many other ones I watched since then?
Yeah.
I'm a major offender of that.
Yeah.
He recommends to me like several things.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that sounds dope. Wait, you told me about that.
Do you know how many times he told me to watch Dr. Stone, and I'm just like, yeah, we'll watch it.
Absolutely.
We'll get there.
I got to the point where I stopped recommending manga because they just didn't read it.
Yeah.
Right. No one
ever
ever
reads
Yeah. No, and it's expensive. Manga's expensive.
It is.
Like,
I read most of mine online. It's just the way to go about it now.
Yeah, but I cannot read it like on a site. Like I personally, because I liked enjoying actually reading a book, because like I enjoy reading in general. So actually having a physical book and going through like a book was like I enjoyed that. And so like reading it online, I'm just like, okay. Okay. This is fun.
It's not the same feeling.
It's just not the same feeling.
There's something. It's like the feel of the book, the smell of the book. There's a whole. There's a whole nother sensory process happening.
Yeah, and it's just like especially because like we're always on like our devices, like our cell phones, our computers, like watching TV, watching all sorts of media. So it's like just having like another thing to like kind of like watch a screen and kind of scroll through, and it's just, I don't know, it's just not the same. Like, and I liked like seeing like the art style in the book, because like sometimes I feel like there's details in the book that don't translate online.
The same.
Like there's just like maybe it's a texture thing for me. Like I like textures, so it's like seeing like a page and then like the texture of the ink and stuff. Like I think it's more of a nostalgic thing for me. Maybe, I don't know.
No, that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely very much so, like I have read most of the manga that I've read. I have read online just to the lack of availability. Yeah. But it's always way easier for me to read stuff like in person. Like I don't think I've ever finished a single book like trying to read it like digitally, you know. But I'll go through.
Yeah, I can go through books like nobody's business. Like my brother used to like take me to like Barnes and Noble, and like you know like I'd pick like a couple different books, and like I'd get them, and then like in like a day like I'd finish them, and I'd be like, Chad, take me to the store and get me more. And he's like, you're done with all of them already? And I'm like, I'm like, I'm done. Like, fucking go take me to the bookstore.
I got my shoes on, get ready.
Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a, I don't know, it's interesting because I feel like there's a lot in the way of sort of print that's declining, you know. So I think it'd be unfortunate to lose that entirely, but I don't think it. I'm not so sure we're quite at a point where we could lose that entirely. I think especially with I know like the paper sales are like really big in Japan. Yeah. You know, so I think like that alone will kind of keep it alive. We'll see exactly what we do here. Yeah. You know, but I think I would hate to see like print manga go. Despite not like reading a ton.
Because I mean, like even every time I go into a bookstore, I do go through like the manga sections, and I just I'll pick some up. I'll just kind of caress them. Like it's just kind of like, oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, it smells new. Yeah. But I will, and it's like I don't know. But I think because there's a lot of people that are like those book lovers, and like they like having books, and they like having something to like physically hold and read. And,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't think it will ever fully die. I mean, I'm sure sales will go like probably keep going down, but I don't think it will ever fully disappear.
No. And if it does, we start a new planet.
We riot. We riot. So. Yeah.
Well, I think we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up. Yeah.
One last question. Maybe two last questions.
Oh, my brain is done. I don't even know if you have.
Yeah. For the wrap up, if there was one anime that you would want to recommend for anybody who's watching this to watch, what would that be?
Ooh.
Yeah, I like that one. It's close.
No, the heavy questions.
I have to think what I've been watching lately. Oh my god, I'm bad at this. I'm bad on the spot. Oh no. I don't really. My mind is going blank. Because I'm trying to think of like what I've been watching lately, and like the only thing that's been coming to mind is I was watching this anime called Plunderer.
Plunderer.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. But I don't know if I'm 100% into it right now. But like it's I think an interesting concept. So it's like it's a society, I guess, that like everybody has like a thing that they count. And when you count that thing that you count, it appears as a number tattoo on your body. And then it's like, but if you, and then there's like, you can like battle people and like lose those numbers. Like they can take those numbers away from you and gain it onto theirs.
Oh, this is weird.
Yeah. All right. So like, yeah. So then if you lose all of your numbers in like a battle or however, then these like weird like demon hands come and like take you away and like die, I assume.
What?
Yeah.
So you're
just kind of living your life like with these numbers on, and you know like, and then so the number can go up or down, I guess, depending on what you're counting. So like, I'm trying to think of an example. So the one main character girl, she has her number is the number of miles that she walked, because she's trying to find this guy. So her number is like the number of miles that like she's walked. The like another guy's is like he has a number of like the number of times the girls rejected him, and like stuff like that. So it's it's like things like that, or it's just like weird things like that. So it's like some people's numbers are like super high, some are super low, like whatever. But if you lose, so if you like go down to like a 1, and then you lose that 1, that's when like the demon hands like come and like take you away. So the number your higher is, the higher your number is, what was that sentence? The higher your number is, the higher ranking like you are in society, basically.
Yeah.
So anybody that has a lower number than you has to obey you no matter what.
What?
Basically.
What?
Yeah, I mean it's not, it doesn't sound, I think, as weird as you might think, but like in the form of like the government's like, oh well, like I have like this higher ranking number than you, so like you have to do what I say. But if a citizen has a higher like number ranking than somebody in like the police or something, they have to listen to them unless they like challenge them to like a battle for their numbers. Oh. So it's like a whole kind of.
That's crazy.
It sounds really weird, right? So like I got really interested in that. I was like, that sounds really interesting. And then there's like a I don't want to like say too much without like giving away the stuff that I've been watching. Yeah. But like so there's all these different like parts of it. Of like having the numbers and like how high your numbers can go and like this and that and like I guess once you reach like a certain number you develop powers and like it's like a whole thing.
This is I'm fascinated by like the ideas behind this sound really interesting.
So but then when I was watching it, it kind of got to a point where I was kind of like, what the fuck is the storyline?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
where are they going?
Yeah. So it's like I like the first like couple of episodes, like I was like super interested, and then there's like kind of like a few episodes where I kind of like, what is the storyline? Like, where is this going at all? But now it's like where I'm kind of at, it's starting to pick back up again. So I'm kind of like, I see where it's going. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious to see how it develops. But there's only one season so far on Hulu. So.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's not like my like Plunderer. Yeah. Plunderer. Yeah, okay. It's not like my top tier like diehard.
Yeah,
but like that's
it's interesting.
But it's interesting enough that like that's what I'm watching right now. That like I'm kind of like I'm curious.
That's fair.
It's piqued my interest. Fair. Yeah, it's piqued my interest. Yeah.
And it's always interesting. No. We're wrapping up. I got it.
Sorry. We're gonna be here forever.
That's yeah.
Mic test all over.
That's
again.
yeah. Did you have another question?
Yeah, did you have one more?
I think I might have, but I forgot.
Yeah.
Probably for the best. Probably for the
right.
best.
Yeah. Well, I'll say that's cool. Like we can end it there.
Yeah.
That's fine. But like we really appreciate you coming out and talking with us. This has been a lot of fucking fun. If people wanted to go see like your cosplay and the stuff that you've done, where would they find you?
Just on Instagram, mostly just Yazzelberry. So Yazzelberry.
Yeah. Oh, that was one quick. Why Yazzelberry?
I
mean, Yaz.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of a funny story. So my very first email ever was nothing but muffins. We're not gonna get into that. But that was my very first email. So one of my friends growing up, she used to call me Yazzelberry Muffin. Mm-hmm. So obviously people call me Yaz, so that's why the Yaz. The EL is part of my last name. And then the berry just kind of...
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it was just kind of ironic that she would call me Yazzelberry Muffin, but then when I started making my IG handle, and like ended up being like my handle for like everything else.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I spelt it, like purposely kind of for that. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I try to remember to ask that stuff when it's like kind of unique, because you never know exactly like what goes into how somebody comes up with their IG handle.
Yeah, that's kind of mostly it. She just would always call me Yazzelberry Muffin, and that just kind of ended up being my handle. So, yeah, but
I didn't know what the hell you were But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.